Joining me is the panel, former New South Wales Labor Treasurer Michael Costa and GXO Strategies Director Cameron Milner, former Chief of Staff to Labor leader Bill Shorten. Cameron, the budget, it hasn't been well received even in the media left. What do you make of it?
Well, it hasn't because it's not progressive, and that's why the media left don't like it. But listening to your own viewers and the people before, I mean, this could actually end up being a big, fat elbow bribe, this $300, because it's going to billionaires. I mean, his tax cut's already going to billionaires anyway. So the average Australian gets a $15 Big Mac meal, while the mega rich, his mates, get a bottle of Bollinger and an artisan baguette every week as a tax cut. So this guy is throwing cash in a desperate attempt to buy popularity. This guy's walking around with a fistful of 50s looking for love from the electorate. And it's a disgraceful look on the budget. And it's awful that so much money would be splurged, sprayed everywhere in a desperate attempt by this Prime Minister to be popular. And that's all it is.
Well, I've got to say, $300 will help me buy one bottle of Highland Park 18-year-old whiskey, but I can't say that I'm needing the taxpayer to help me with that one. But Michael, what do you make of the budget?
That's a mediocre budget from a mediocre government and a mediocre treasurer, I've got to say. Look, this $300, the reason it's going across the board, of course, is it's not designed primarily for cost of living help for the needy. It's designed to get down headline inflation so that they can argue that inflation's coming down. That's the only reason it's designed this way. You could easily have given more money to the needy and handed back as a direct tax rebate. But this is not directed at that. It's a manipulation of headline inflation. But I don't think the Reserve Bank is going to fall for that. They'll be looking at the underlying inflation rate and the structural deficit. There's $40 billion of additional spending going in this, and I nearly choked when I just heard Jim Chalmers claim that his budget was, putting downward pressure on inflation. I don't know where he studied economics, but clearly he has a very limited grasp of the macro situation. The fact of the matter, this is an inflationary budget. It has to be by its very nature. It doesn't address the structural deficit, which is about 1%, about $30 billion. That's going to go on and on and on. And the only surplus he can point to is the one that's being generated outside of his own economic activities. The bracket creep and the windfall on commodity prices. Mediocre budget. It's terrible. And this non-means testing, I mean, if you're a Labor person, it just really grates that they've structured it this way to get a short-term benefit on the inflation rate.